All right, good morning, first grade. For comprehension today, you are reading a story called The Big Race. While we read this, I want you to be thinking about what happens in the beginning, what happens in the middle, and what happens at the end of our story. All right, the big race. The big day is here. It was time for Hannah to run in her first race. She had been practicing every day. She had her new racing shoes on her feet, but her legs were shaking and her hands were sweating. Her tummy felt a bit upset, too. Hannah was thinking she wouldn't be fast enough. As she got to the starting line, the crowd was yelling and cheering. She heard her sister shouting her name. Then bang! The runners were off. Hannah ran as fast as she could and came across the finish line in first place. Her family hugged her and told her they were so proud of her. She was proud of herself too, because all of her hard work had paid off. All right. You will see two questions at the bottom of your page that you need to answer. So, number one, in the beginning of the story, Hannah was nervous. How do you know? A, she started to cry, so think about what happened in the story. B, she decided not to race. Or C, she was shaking and had sweaty hands. All right. And the correct answer is C. She was shaking and had sweaty hands. All right. Number two, in the middle of the story, when Hannah went to the starting line, what did she hear? The crowd and her sister cheering, the sound of her heartbeat, or the other runners talking? The correct answer is A, the crowd and her sister cheering. She heard the crowd and her sister yelling her name. All right. When you have circled those correct answers, flip your pages over to your retell paper. All right, so you'll see that you have a box for beginning, middle, and end. So I'm going to escape here and go back to my story. And there's a few things in the beginning of the story that happened. So you could say that Hannah was going to run in her first race. She had been practicing every day. You could tell, or you could say that she was nervous. So I'm going to pick that it was Hannah's first race, and she had been practicing every day. All right. So Hannah had her first race, period. She practiced a lot. So you'll notice I did not copy the story word for word. I put it into my own words. Okay. So Hannah had her first race and she practiced a lot for it. Now I need to figure out what happened in the middle. So here is kind of where the middle is. And it says, as she got to the starting line, the crowd was yelling and cheering. She heard her sister shouting her name. So I'm going to use this one as my middle. And I'm not going to copy it word for word, but I'm going to use my own words and get the same meaning. All right. So let's see. Hannah was at the starting line. She heard the crowd and her sister cheering. So I got all the same facts, but I used my own words. There, now you can see it nice and big. All right, and now I need to figure out what happened at the end of my story. So Then bang, the runners were off. Hannah ran as fast as she could and came across the finish line in first place. Her family hugged her and told her they were so proud of her. She was proud of herself too because all her hard work had paid off. So I'm going to use the detail that Hannah ran as fast as she could and she came in first place. All right. Hannah ran as fast as she could and took first place. All righty. That's a little big, but that's okay. All right. And there is. If you want to pause the video right now so you can see my work, if you need help, that's totally fine. But here is my finished retell. So in the beginning, Hannah had her first race. She practiced a lot. In the middle, Hannah was at the starting line. She heard the crowd and her sister cheering. In the end, Hannah ran as fast as she could and took first place. All right. I hope that was helpful. I look forward to seeing all of your posts on Seesaw today.